We are going to invite Mark up to the stage, if you're ready, Mark. And we are going to hear from Mark and then Julia. Then we'll go into our snack and coffee break, and then we'll have time for some questions. I will show you how to use it. We've got this. Green is forward.
Green is forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Red is back.
Ready, Mark?
Well, thank you for having me. I really like to talk about recharge. We'll get right into it. Floodmar on-farm recharge is basically we're reclaiming the floodplains. You can hear me? Okay. This is a picture of the East Side Bypass, the Fresno River at Road 9 in Madera County. The Fresno River is the chocolate one. That's the amount of water that's coming through there at one time. And the chocolate water is why we can't use our micro irrigation systems through filters. They will plug up in about 2 seconds. Where do I point this at anyway? Next slide, guys. Oh, well, this happened in 2017, 2019, and 2023. So it happens, kind of regular, but we never know when it's going to happen. Can you guys run the video on this? This is a picture of how fast this water is running. It also has Carl in it with but that's about 6,000 CFS going through there. I think it took out the bridge this year, didn't it, Sarah? Yeah. Okay, next slide. Let's have you guys do it. You can hit the video on this. This is a picture of 1997. I'm an old geezer, so I can show the picture. This is when the San Joaquin River broke its banks. And this is looking from the bypass to the east on flooded farm ground. There's a car over there by the...
There's a car.
The amount of water was tremendous. You guys go to the next slide. Next slide. Oh, just to show you where I'm at. See if I can do this. Okay, I'm there at Chowchilla, Madera. The X is the star is my farm, and the circle is where the flood was that year. And there's a little X there for the East Side Bypass. Can you guys run this slide and turn the sound up? This is back in 97, I want you to listen. That's in those trees that were flooded in that 97 picture. Okay, you turn the sound down. And it's the water coming up from the ground. So there's a lot of air displacement, which is probably why these trees did not die. And the water was over there for like a month and a half because they couldn't fix the levee for a long time. So part of the studies with how long trees can last in this situation depends on how much water is coming up from the ground too. Next slide. Oh, that's why I took out walnut trees on 40 acres in 22. The cost to take that out was $40,000. The grant money available is zero. NRCS has a little bit of a program, but it's poorly funded. So it's a big waste. I did whole orchard recycling. That grant from the Air District was $25,500, and I spent $25,500, and I got a grant for $24,000. So it was pretty fair. I mean, really, I did okay. Why do I do whole orchard recycling? Well, this is a picture up in Tulare County. Near Turlock, and this is a guy preparing a field without whole orchard recycling. Regional water guys would have got him. This is a field that had whole orchard recycling in 2017 when there was a lot of water and there was no runoff and the water just went straight into the ground. So with that improved organic matter, the water goes straight down. So this is what I have. I have a blank canvas, and farming's 50% science and 50% art. Please remember that. That's what they taught me at Cal Poly, and I think they taught at UC Davis. It's never 100% science, guys. There's too many variables. So ripping was part of the whole orchard recycling. My grandson's picking up hardpan and wood was free, but they quit on me when it got hot, so I had to bring some people in. That's part of whole orchard recycling. Leveling I got from the NRCS EQIP grant, so that was break even. Pipelines. There was a pipeline sometime in the 60s here, but it was never used. I've been there for 30 years. It's never been used. So we had to put a new pipeline in to get ready for recharge. This is pretty expensive. So really, right now I'm out $61,000 on that 40-acre piece with the grant money subtracted out. And the big part of that is that removal of trees. And Christine and I were talking, thought, you know, I'd be love to pull out those trees if I get a grant for it, and I'd be willing not to farm it for a couple, 3 years, because I don't have that expense I have to recoup using highest and best use of my farm to try to make money and be sustainable as a farmer. So the outlay of money is done without knowing when the next excess water yield will occur. And this, in our area, we don't have credits or incentives available for groundwater storage. Unexpected happens all the time in farming. You never know. This is a slide from Rick Iger of Provost and Pritchard. I circle the one about the pond area. I don't like the word pond. I don't like the word basin. More like wet feet type of thing. We're going for the shallow aquifer, which is above the cork and clay in my area. And that gives you a good example of how deep a recharge area needs to be, or even less. When I was recharging, the top of my boots got wet, not my ankles. Border up, plant the barley, add a little cover crop on the side. It's kind of a waste of time to do cover crop, really, when you're doing recharge, because I have so much organic matter in the field right now, and right next door I have a walnut orchard with cover crop. It's like, I would like to plant it with barley and make some money. And when I sprayed the barley, it died anyway. So that's recharging the barley. This is recharging the walnuts. It was interesting to hear about the walnut concerns. I do have walnuts, and I did recharge on it, and I left it on there for about 4 days before I switched sets. So I kept switching sets. You have to remember, we don't irrigate the whole field all at once. But the capacity of the system won't take it. So you can run checks or sets and move it around. So it's rare in my area that we do the whole field at once. So from January I did 20 acre feet, in February 35 acre feet, my recharge area. They charged me $10 an acre foot. That was affordable, I could do that. In March, they shut down the district pipeline for repairs. This is a cool picture. This is a well in my almond field, and this is taken November, and that's air going into the ground because the water is being pumped out. So kind of like Boris and Natasha, in goes the bad air, out goes the good. So you guys are probably too young for that. But this is January. Air's coming out. So the shallow aquifer is like a lung. We can actually put water in and take it out, and it's sustainable that we can do this with the water. This is my grandson in the barley, harvesting the barley. Barley, what it looks like in the summertime. They were charging $10 an acre foot for that recharge water in January and February. In June, they were charging $97 an acre foot. But I went to water district meeting, said, can you give it to us for free if we have a recharge area? And they did for the month of July. So this is what it looks like. And people worry about evaporation, but really, I think the trash keeps the evaporation to a minimum. They shut me down in August, so I quit recharging when the water was $97 an acre foot. Just can't do it, or even 55. I just can't do it. I'm not making enough money. SAGB map, I'm not a fan. My recharge area is moderately poor. That's the area. The poor recharge is to the west. Good recharge is to the east. And the best recharge is to the far east. And the old timers used to say, don't break the hard band. Water goes to China. And you know what? Those guys were right. It just goes right down to China. So when I was on those 5 checks of barley, I could sleep at night, Christine. I didn't have to get up once. I knew it was not going out anywhere. But when I was on the west side, I was up all the time. It was like, better go check it, better go check it. Oh, shoot, you know. But I loved going back to the east. When I rotated back to the east, it was, yes. Oh, I did have some wildlife issues. That's some walnut trees I did not take out because I had a guest. And she had 4 eggs in the nest, and I think we had 3, what do you call them, fledglings come out. So Floodmore, it's great for wintertime, but as the season progresses, like Christina said, we have to start doing stuff. So designated recharge areas can keep working. So if we find a good spot like I found, the footprint can be small, and I'm probably not going to use fertilizer or chemicals on it. So just I could still be recharging on that piece. To me, the grants sometimes confuse us because they want wildlife areas, they want cover crops. Please, 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 let us concentrate on recharge. If we have a recharge area, we get comfortable with it as a management practice, guess what my kids, or maybe even me, grumpy as I am, will do with that? I will probably make it into a wildlife area with hedge rows and all the other stuff people want, because I know what it's going to be used for now. And it's not going to interfere with my practice. I can have the buffer zones that they need for the hedgerows so I don't kill the little critters that might be in there, like geese. Oh, and those, when I took those walnut trees down this year, they moved over to another tree in the walnuts that I still have. So they're still there. We had a bunch of fledglings there too. Okay, this is ag math. I'm sorry to the engineers out there. Assuming almonds, and I'm using 3 acre-feet per year to pump, okay? In 2022, I took the trees out, so I didn't pump anything. I had an in lieu recharge of 120 acre-feet. In 2023, I recharged 100, what does that say, 150, 130. I could have recharged another 170 if I had free water or low-cost water. I didn't use my deep well in 2023, so that's another in lieu recharge for 120. Next year, we got pretty good salt water storage. We're anticipating a full allotment next year. That's another 120 feet of in lieu recharge, which means I'm not pumping water. So that is up to about 5 years of water. Okay, that's ag math. I know engineers might not like it, but so what do we need to do? What's the ask? Funds to remove existing trees. Fund the NRCS or the Air Board. Air Board has staff, NRCS has staff, water districts have staff, GSAs don't have staff, but water districts do. Funds for pipelines, pumps, return systems. NRCS has it, but as you can see from the picture, I was still out quite a bit of money for that flood line, and that flood line was there basically for recharge. Let's see, funds to improve the water intake of recharge areas, ripping, boring. I don't think it's gonna do as well this next year because I've dissed it a few times. If I ripped it again, that costs money. Boring costs money. You know, everything's costing the farmer money. You heard what Aaron said about the cost of water. Oh, let me go back. Streamline the payment process from time frame, and a yearly payment for designated recharge areas. If I leave, let's say 5 acres out, there's no money coming in for that. My wife questions me about my wisdom leaving 5 acres out. So we are, by leaving it out, we lose our appraisal value of our farm, our resale value of our farm, income of our farm, it all goes down. And lower cost of water delivered to the districts. The districts charge us water because they're being charged for water. How do we lower the water costs to the districts so we have less to do? That's my last slide. What does recharge do? It can slow or stop subsidence, improves water quality, brings in wildlife, improves groundwater levels, increases groundwater storage, and saltwater intrusion doesn't apply in my area. So the 6 Sigma of Sigma right there. Questions?
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. We're going to hold questions and bring you back up later. And we're going to invite Julia Bartfield up to the stage. And I just want to thank both Mark and Christine for some excellent imagery. It really helps to conceptualize what's happening on the farm. And we're hearing wonderful stories of hope, and we're also hearing some things that are necessary. It's complicated, and I just want to flag that for our action team members in the room. There's an action team dedicated to incentives. So that conversation is going to happen tomorrow.